Welcome back everybody to a immediate reaction to UFC 248's main event between Israel Adesanya and Yoel Soldier of God Romero. As we probably know by this point, it was arguably one of the most boring middleweight championship fights in history, probably rivaled with Anderson Silva versus Damian Maia back in Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, wherever it was. The main reason as to why this fight was as boring as it was because really, when you take a look at Romero and Adesanya, these two fighters are counter punchers, right? Counter fighters. And especially for Yoel Romero, for his last three fights, he has been in this little groove where he just likes to stand still and then let the opponent essentially come to him. For example, fighters like Paulo Costa, Robert Whittaker, who are always active, who always come forward, they can make it a more favorable fight. They can actually make it a decent fight because they come forward. Now, Israel Adesanya, on the other hand, he's a counter fighter. He always likes to stay on the outside, pop his jabs, feint, go to the legs, and continue to do so until the opponent makes a major mistake that he can capitalize on. For example, like he did against Robert Whittaker. The reason as to why Adesanya got a nice knockout over him was because Robert Whittaker was actually throwing his left hook over and over again. And at some point, Adesanya got the rhythm of it and understood what he was doing, and then was able to intercept and counter. Against Yoel Romero, he essentially had nothing to work with, and he just made the most with what he had. Adesanya, unlike Paulo Costa, is not a very big, heavy, strong middleweight powerhouse. So he can't just rush forward and make it a dogfight. He has to stay on the outside and just pick Yoel Romero apart from that distance. From there he can do it. But other than that, what else can Israel Adesanya do, really? For example, he can't really engage in the clinch. He can't go and take him down. He's not, the wrestler in this fight. Yoel Romero being the wrestler in this matchup, it's odd that he only shot him for one decent takedown, which he actually got, but that was it. What else was there from Yoel Romero's side? In the first round, he won the first round because that was essentially the only punch that, actually decently landed or was a significant shot. Other than that, I would have to say from round 3 onward, Adesanya was just leg kicking, and just scoring points over and over again. So in the end, this was a fight that I expected to, I saw this outcome because just of their nature, but I didn't expect Yoel Romero to be that passive. Like for the first 2-3 rounds, maybe okay, yeah, sure, but then I expected him to open up. But obviously, Yoel Romero can make it seem like Adesanya did not want to engage, but the reality is Yoel Romero didn't have anything to work with himself. He couldn't really create an opening himself. The only punch that he really landed in the first round was mainly because of the fact that Israel Adesanya came forward and he had to initiate the first strike. And that's not really something that Adesanya likes to do all too much. He's not really that good of a fighter that will lead the charge. For example, against Anderson Silva, he got caught a couple of times by being the fighter that came forward and actually threw the first strike without a nice setup or something, right? Because of that, he got caught, and against Yoel Romero, he got caught again. And after that one mistake, he didn't repeat it, and it was a very nice and easy performance for Israel Adesanya. Was it a good fight? No, but it is what it was, right? What can you say else about it? I'm happy Adesanya got this victory over Yoel Romero. It is a good name on his resume, and overall, I believe the right man won in this matchup. And I think we should just move on to a better fight, which is Paulo Costa vs Adesanya. And the reason why this fight is going to be better is because obviously Paulo Costa, he comes forward, right? He comes forward. He just comes forward, doesn't care, takes the punches on his shoulders, hands, just rolls with him, and he just marches forward, just like a tank. Just goes forward, goes after the opponent. That's just Paulo Costa, and that's why this fight between Paulo and Israel is going to be a better fight, because there's just going to be a lot more action. Out of Adesanya and Paulo, we're going to be seeing pure offense versus pure defense, and the difference between like what this fight was, is just Paulo, his entire game is based around strength, power, and just everything like that. I don't believe Adesanya has faced somebody who can take these shots, roll with them, still come forward, and still just come after you. So it'll be interesting to see how he's going to be dealing with that. But I would have to assume that he would be dealing with it just fine. I think after the first 2 rounds, he should be getting a little more comfortable in there against Costa. But especially the first 2 rounds, they're going to be very, very, very hard on him. So we'll see how that fight is going to be playing out. And I hope that fight comes around pretty quickly, because neither of these two in this fight between Romero and Adesanya took any damage. So, sure, Romero took a lot of damage to the leg, but Adesanya just came out of it like he just warmed up, essentially. So that was that. It was an okay fight. We've seen better. We've seen definitely better, but that was what it was. That was my immediate reaction to the fight. Thank you guys for watching. I've been Keenan from Keenan KTV. Leave in the comment section down below what you thought of this fight, and I'm signing off. Later.